Well, you can
Sure.
start. You can start talking to people. It's fine.
All right, so where we last left off, let's just do a quick recap from last week. So you guys, you entered the Cragmaw hideout, and you were able to successfully defeat all of the goblins that were inside. You found out about Yermeek, who was trying to thwart Clarg, the head bugbear's plans of trying to take over the cave, and in a gesture of true good versus evil, trickery plot ensued to slay said goblin, which you did, and you were able to successfully rescue Sildar Hallwinter, our sellsword friend who was accompanying Gundren on his journey and who was tasked with protecting him. You guys,
My apologies.
for what?
The slaying of the plotting goblin. Ch3 does not like goblins.
I think that's the first time anyone's in the history of me playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's the first time anyone has ever apologized for killing a goblin. So yeah, we thwarted the plan. We were able to successfully rescue Sildar Hallwinter from the bindings of the goblins, and then take out Clarg and running of the goblin camp. You also were able to rescue Carp, young Lady Elderleaf's son, who had been kidnapped in the night by a band of goblins. I believe we still currently don't know why exactly, but there are suspicions because you guys overheard that he was aware of a location that would secretly enter into the Redbrands hideout. Then also during our previous adventures, while you guys were running around Phandelver, you were able to make it to Phandelver. You returned the supplies, and you were able to determine that the Redbrands are a gang of brigands that seem to be setting up kind of a shop here in Phandelver, and kind of bullying the people and extorting money from them and all kinds of goods. Did you want to say something?
I'm pretty sure we also found out where Gundren is from Olmec as well.
From Yemeek.
Yemeek, yeah.
You found out that he is possibly taken to Cragmaw Castle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that more or less brings us to where we are today, I believe.
Yeah, some good adventuring.
So after the final dramatic fight, you guys are able to take Sildar out. You meet him outside of the cave as he's kind of busted up, and you come across him as you guys are heading out proudly, putting your weapons away, successfully of defeating the goblins and shedding the realm of their tyranny. Sildar takes you, so you help Sildar get back to Phandelver, and as he promised when you rescued him, if you get him back safely, that he would give you 50 gold pieces to split amongst all of you. Well, of course, he has no money on him currently. You were able to retain some of his gear. And I believe you also found a bunch of the supplies from the Lion Shield coaster when you raided Clarg's room.
Yes.
Yeah. You're going to also take back with you to Phandelver. So you arrive back in Phandelver in the dead of night. Everything's kind of closed up. You make headway over to the tavern, and Sildar says, "Don't worry about me. I can take care of myself. Let's meet up at first light downstairs in the bottom of the tavern. We have much to discuss, but I need some rest." And you guys go to your separate rooms and lay down for the night and prepare for your venturings on the next morning.
Are we just keeping Carp with us for right now before we?
Oh, so
No. I believe he should be returned to his mother.
yeah. So when you arrive back in Phandelver, also with Carp, I forgot that he was with you. Also with Carp, he heads back to to his home, and says, make sure you come by and see me tomorrow. I would love to thank you properly.
Good night. Don't get kidnapped again.
Good night. Lock your windows.
Stay clear of the Redbrands.
And
Before I go to sleep, I do want to prepare some good berries with a spell really quick.
Mhm.
They last for 24 hours. Just FYI.
oh, so you're gonna actually literally make the good berries for future consumings.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna make them. I'm gonna make them before I go to sleep, so I don't. That spell slot gets reset.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I head to bed.
God damn it! Just hit my Steam button by accident. Okay, awesome. Did you make it back yet, Mike? I'll assume he's gonna be back shortly.
That turned into a number 2.
All right. Here's what I want. Yep. Okay. So, anyone else preparing anything else? I think that's all. You're all prepping your new spells, your new abilities.
No, rest and drink at the tavern.
Sounds good to me.
There he is.
Yep, same.
Sorry, on my way upstairs, my cat also having to take a shit.
No worries. Okay. So then, come the morning, you guys are all set up, ready to go, and you head down into the tavern. And you come down to see Sildar sitting at one of the tables, and he motions to the barkeep to get you all some food and some drink for everyone. And he's like, "Don't worry about it. This one's on me."
Ah, quite gracious, quite gracious.
So he sits down. So you all sit down at the table, I'm assuming.
Yep, sit
Yeah.
down.
Okay. So he says, "Thank you guys so much for rescuing me. It's not often that a member of the Lord's Alliance, such as myself, is bamboozled by such measly goblins. But I was very concerned about Gundren. He took off running on the horse, and I went after him, and I foolishly fell victim to their trap. But there's more to the story, you see. Gundren and his two brothers, Thardan and Nundro, recently have located an entrance to the long-lost Wave Echo Cave. No one has heard hide nor hair of Wave Echo Cave in centuries. It's long since been thought to be lost. It was a cave where the dwarves of old used to make great magical weapons, and supposedly there is a forge of great magic power within the cave. Gundren shared this information with me, but is trying to keep it secret, because he doesn't want to attract unwanted attention. However, evidently he has attracted some unwanted attention. While I was being held prisoner, I overheard the Clarg and the other goblins talking about taking Gundren to the Black Spider. Black Spider is supposedly at some place called Cragmaw Castle. I don't actually know where Cragmaw Castle is. I've never heard of it before. However, I know that that's where they've brought him. What's worse is that Gundren had a map that was showing the location of Wave Echo Cave, and the goblins took it when they captured us. So we don't know if they may actually know where. The king of Cragmaw Castle, whoever that may be, may actually have the info that leads to Wave Echo Cave. Also, just to make matters worse, a companion of mine, also from the Lord's Alliance, had come to Phandelver 2 months prior to this, and he's been said to have disappeared. His name is Arno Albrecht. He's a wizard, about 30, 35, so he's kind of young. And he came down here to help Phandelver re-establish order, but he seems to have disappeared. The Lord's Alliance has heard nothing of him in over 2 months, and part of the reason I joined Gundren was to come to Phandelver to also find Arno and bring him back to the Lord's Alliance. We need to find out what's going on, if he's alive, if he's dead. We need to find out anything we can. And at that, he just kind of leans back in his chair and grabs his mug and just kind of looks around at you all.
So his name is Arno Albrecht. He came to Phandelver for what reason?
I don't know the exact details. I think it was just to try to help Phandelver get reestablished. This town was founded with no real security in place. It's just a town of like miners and common folk that are just trying to build a village. This town used to be great, but then it had been sieged by orcs and goblins, and now these people of present day are trying to rebuild it. I believe he came here dispatched by the Lord's Alliance to try to help it grow and flourish. But then we lost contact with him.
I wonder if the Redbrands got to him.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Maybe they assassinated him, kind of took his place.
Yes,
Okay,
we
well.
try to figure that out.
Any leads? What did he look like?
He's about 35, black hair, red wizard, wizard who wears red. Human. He's a red wizard, human. That's about that's about it.
Right. Well, I'll keep an ear out for anything I hear. Also, were you aware of the Redbrands and their doings here in Phandelver?
No, I'm afraid not. I haven't. You gentlemen talking are the first I've heard of the Redbrands and their misdoings. And in whispers around here in the tavern, I've heard people muttering about them a bit, but I don't know. We had not heard anything about them previous to this, which seems strange though, because you would think that the Lord's Alliance has been keeping a close eye on Phandelver, and Ardo should have sent us back some kind of report, but maybe they got to him before he could. I'm not sure.
I don't remember how long they said the Redbrands had been in Phandelver. They said a few weeks, not months.
That's interesting.
Your friend's disappearance is not coincidental with the arrival of the Redbrands. They arrived later.
Maybe he was dispatched somehow, and then the Redbrands came to take up stake once they realized that the town was defenseless.
Maybe so.
I would like to join your party and help you find my friend, Gundren and Albrecht.
I
extend my.
Everyone agrees?
Go ahead, sorry, go ahead, guys.
I say, yeah, any help is welcome in my hand.
He grasps your hand firmly like a warrior poet, and he does that awkward moment where he kind of grabs your elbow, and you're like, "Why are you touching me up there?" And yes, he gives you one of those.
Yeah. Right in my weenus, huh?
Yeah, he
One
grabs
of those
the weenus.
Mason handshake.
Gives a Mason handshake. Yes.
And my Therion's eating and his mouth is full, but he wipes his mouth and he extends his hand, even though it's covered with crumbs.
And so he grabs your arm also in that awkward way, and he just kind of makes kind of a gesture with his hand where he's just kind of like patting the moisture around his hand. He goes, "Oh, you're a wet one, aren't you?"
They're on regrets.
I'll obviously do the same with the handshake and with all that jazz.
Yep, it does the same thing.
I bow respectfully and say, your help would be welcome, but are you fit for battle? Just yesterday you were pretty hurt.
Fortunately, I have a friend here in the city who was able to cure my wounds, and she had managed to bestow upon me healing blessings over the night, and has restored me back to my full fighting ability. Don't be surprised by this old man's appearance that you see before you. I can still fight. If you'd like, my friend is over at the Shrine of Luck, towards the eastern part of town. Her name is Sister Garelli, and perhaps she can bestow some luck upon you folk as well.